I'm never going to get this right, am I? Never. Welcome, everyone, to Live from the Kingdom. This is episode number 13, and here we talk about behind-the-scenes stories, get sneak peeks and insights into Keys to the Kingdom, the Dollar Baby horror anthology, and we talk about dollar babies and more. Welcome to you. This is our 1 hour live special event. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're just going to get right into it. And I'm going to bring up my friend, Billy Hanson. Welcome, Billy. Oh, I caught you in the middle of a drink.
I'm so sorry. I was just pre-gaming.
Pre-gaming.
Just getting ready for it, you know? We got a whole hour. We got to get a good running start at it.
We do. We've got to get a great work. Yeah. I've already had a start, apparently. Yes, we've got an hour, and we're going to do some fun things tonight, and we're going to introduce some new stories. That's right.
Sorry,
plural.
There's a fly in here.
Well, you know,
if you see me swatting, there's a little fly that's buzzing right around my face.
If you start changing, then you know, we'll just start calling you Hanson.
If I pull off my fingernail. Yeah.
So before we hop all the way into it, let's see if we can take a look at the campaign. Oh, you're not on the screen. There we go. And the campaign is not on this screen because, you know, this is my first day on the job, I guess, apparently. I don't know where it is. There it is. All right, let's bring that up. Okay, so let's hop right in there and just zoom right in. It says 5, but by the end of this stream, it'll say 4 because we started in the middle of one of these streams not long ago. Well, several months ago at this point. You can see that there are just a few days left. We'd love to hit 200. If there's anybody out there that has not pre-ordered, you're waiting to the last second. I respect it. But go ahead and get your pre-order on. You can go through and you can, of course, see all the stuff. Go back and watch some of the previous episodes. As you can see here, they are right there on the Inkshares page. And good. They are. They're all fantastic. They're all great. You can read about each of the stories, or if you're a visual person, you can come here into the read and you can read all about each of the authors, but also about the stories, which is where I was going with that. Right there, we're going to take a look at some of those in a little bit, probably. So let me go back. You can also read a little bit of my story, Red Eye, or you can read some of Billy Hanson's story, Life Sentence. Those are all there for you. Okay, enough of that. Bye-bye. Get out of here. Okay, so we are not going to delay because we've got some returning guests tonight. So let's bring our returning guests. We're going to start with Sean Lelos. Let's bring you up to the stage. Not on the wrong screen. I'm on the wrong screen, Sean. Here we go. There we go. Welcome back, bud. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent. Thank
you. Doing good, man. It's been good. I've been looking forward to this for a little while.
Yeah, me too.
I've been enjoying everyone else's talks ever since mine, so it's kind of like I don't feel so. It's nice to hear everyone's stories. It's been really cool to hear all the different stories that everyone's been talking about. I can't wait to read the book.
Yeah, man. You know, it's awesome. Billy and I are very lucky because we have actually read each of the stories many times. Let's also bring on another special guest. We also have Bolin Miller. What's up? How's it going?
It's going good.
Welcome back. Yeah, there you go.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers. Welcome back. I guess I should drink.
Thank you.
You can't talk and drink at the same time. I just learned that.
Yeah, that's a skill you have to develop over time, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Hard skill.
Kind of like those cooking TV shows where they tuck the food into their cheek like a chipmunk, right? You got to get good at that, man. You got to get good at it. So, man, just swallow faster, I guess is the answer, right? So I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. You know what I want to do first? I actually think that I want to talk about some of the stories that we have already talked about. So let me see if I can bring everybody up on this screen with me. And we're going to go ahead and just look at a couple. We're not going to look at all of them right now. I'm just checking out the comments here real quick. That's Parker, my daughter, who just brought me some water so I could have, so I could not just be drinking and getting dehydrated for an hour. An hour is a long time. So she said,
Smart
excited
move.
for what's planned tonight. Now, she has a little sneak peek. So I told her, I said, shh, don't tell. So back here, in our very first episode, we had Julia on, and we talked about her story, The Lime Acid Lovers. And for those of you that don't remember this, I'll just read this here. In 1986, at the King of Prussia Mall, a psychedelic drifter falls for a punk rock occultist who pulls him into a neon-lit fever dream of backroom sex, high-stakes theft, mind-bending pharmacosmicals, and unfathomable dark powers. And that story is awesome, and I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah, all of the stuff in there, it delivers.
It delivers all of that stuff.
Yeah, and that was a hell of a way for us to kick off these little live streams, because like I remember we were talking about doing Julia's story first, and I was like, damn, we're coming out of the gate with the Lime Acid Lovers. All right, we're gonna hit this fucker hard.
Yeah, so we just kind of said, hey, if anybody wants to come on the first show, just step forward. And Julia was like, I do. Can I? And we're like,
And it was perfect.
That story is really awesome. Billy and I are in full editing mode, which is why I was saying we've read the stories over and over again. And we have, just to pull the curtain back a little bit, we've sent some notes back, and we actually have the second draft of that story. And I know she's done a lot of work on it. Yes, it's going to be awesome. And another little spoiler, I don't know how to say this, but it's a pretty long story. It really is. One of the longest ones, actually. So it's really great. I'm excited for everybody to get a chance to read that at some point someday, right? Who knows? Maybe we'll put up something. A sample. That's what I'm trying to think of. Listen. I'm a lightweight, guys. I'm a lightweight. You know what I'm saying? Let's do
for her story as well. I just saw your guys' episode on her horror survival podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good work there, gentlemen.
Thank you.
A great.
That
episode.
was fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like whenever you do podcasts and stuff, there are people that are just really good at it, like really good at just keeping conversation going and like asking interesting questions and like keeping everyone engaged in a really interesting conversation. And Julia's very good at it. And and her partner Terry, like they just make such an interesting and such a great duo. Like that was a lot of fun to do that with them.
Yeah, it was a great episode. Yeah, Terry's great too. So she keeps it so fun and light and funny, and the questions are great. Cool episode.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard that, it's the Horror Movie Survival Guide podcast. Did I get all that right? I think that's right. Horror Movie Survival Guide podcast. And go on, check it out. They got some really great discussions about different horror movies of all types, cult horror movies or big budget, big hit horror movies. And it's really a lot of fun. So go check that out. And while you're there, maybe listen to Billy and I ramble on about stuff, if you want, if that's something that you're interested in. Let's pop up another one. Sean, do the honors, my friend.
When Jake survives it, I think I might have changed the name of the story.
That's okay.
It might be a different name, but it says when Jake survives the death experience, he believes he has a second chance at life. However, something evil from the other side returns with him.
Well, that's the kind of fun thing about jumping into this kind of stuff and doing everything all at the same time. Things change and morph. For example, whose story was? I think actually, you know what, Bolin? I think it's your story. The synopsis that you sent early on is pretty close to what the story is. However, it's just different enough that I was like, wow, that's cool. You went in a different direction. That's neat. Hey, you know what? We've got another friend that just showed up. And it is the birthday boy, Dr. Robert Cochran. Whoa. What is going on, my friend? How are you?
What's happening, everybody? Thanks for having me. It's cheers.
Thanks for hopping in, man. We're just talking about some of the stories that we already released before we show a few more new stories, before we unveil a few more new stories. So, Sean, what I was saying was it's interesting because you may have changed the name from Jake. It's one of those things where things evolve.
It's
And
funny because I had originally submitted the story to you guys, and then I got some comments back from one of my beta readers, and I pulled it down before you guys could really edit it, and I completely changed the beginning of the story and took some of his advice into it. So I mean, there's changes made from the first time I submitted it to what you guys actually read. So it changed along the way for sure.
Yeah, and if I'm correct, I think that you have our first pass on that. We sent it back.
Yes, I have it I have until the 15th to get the second draft into you.
Listen, I'm pretty calendar oriented, so all of you out there, like, please forgive me. It just helps me stay organized. You know what I mean? I am not like.
Yeah. It really helps Paul and I know how far we're going to be behind when we we set dates.
And we are good. Deadlines are good, Paul.
Thanks. And we are getting a little behind, Billy, but there's such a good.
It turns out editing is hard.
That is true. I will drink to that, Billy Hanson.
Yeah, hey,
editing's hard.
I'm having a great time though, I will say, because every time I'm reading through the first initial read of the stories, I'm always like every single time really encouraged about where it's going to go. And even if there are a bunch of notes or we have big notes, big thoughts on things, it's always stuff that I'm like, I think this is going to make it stronger. Very few times are we like being prescriptive about it. Like there's not much we have to like go in and fix really. It's all like, hey, strengthen, clarify, whatever, like little things. So it's all like an effort to push these stories that are already great, like even further along, which is honestly my favorite part of the process is the editing process. So it just like keeps me more excited about every single one of these stories.
Yeah, it's been really cool. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop us back into this zone. There we go. So that way we can be seen a little better on there. And we'll come back and do some more stories in just a few minutes. So, what's interesting is two of the three of you have received notes. And let's talk about what that's like on your end. Because I know what it was like for me when I received notes. Bolin, guess what? You're going to get your notes tomorrow, probably.
All right.
Very late, it's the next day.
I was a little late turning in, so
I saw that too.
Hey, it's all fun. It's all good. So, what is it like on your end for you? I know that I remember when I was getting notes on the novel that I wrote, some of it is hard. I remember being like, this is really challenging. This is really challenging for me because I know that you like work really, really hard to make things the way that you think that they the best way that you think that they can be, right? And I know that for me, I was like, I had to actually, when I first got my notes back on my novel, and we're talking like almost 100,000 word book, so there's a lot of notes. So I literally had to like sit back and just kind of take like a week or two, even because it was so much to try to process and just let my crazy's not right, but let my ego kind of like chill out a little bit, so the question is, what was that like? Sorry, I'm reading the comments over here. Anybody want to jump in? Thanks, Karen.
I'll say no.
Thank you, Karen.
Karen. So for me, definitely, there's, like you said, the ego attachment to what you write. And, especially if you feel excitement about like, oh, I really did it this time, or I really got one this time, that type of thing. And, the nice thing is if there's not just notes, but the notes happen with enough distance that I've gotten away far enough from the story. And I try to even forget it, try to write something else or just get really engaged in something else. So when I'm looking at it, it's almost like, did I write this? And that way I can separate some of the ego from it. Because there's always, I know what I intended, but there's way more that I missed. And I know it. The joy of it is, yeah, of course, there's the initial sting of, damn, I wished I could have gotten, done it better or done it right. And I teach it all the time. That's what my class is always, writing is rewriting. But the joy is when you go back and you all of a sudden realize, oh, wait, that note helped me combine 3 or 4 ideas into one, and it just got so much better. Or my worst thing, I know my thing is I repeat things, and it's like, what if I said it once in the right place and it landed? And it's like, oh, I just saved the reader a ton of irritation. And I know when I read, like I'm reading Never Flinch, King's new one right now, when something hits and I go, oh, that's it. Boom, that was the line, as opposed to, and again, King himself will say, right? I mean, he's got, diarrhea of the page at times. He knows he goes on too long about things or doesn't get to the point. But boy, when we stick it, and that's what compliments to both of you, I think in your notes, that was what I felt like they were asking for, was just how can we make this happen from the reader's perspective for a better experience, right?
Yeah.
It's bad or wrong now, but could it be better? Always. And if you don't believe it could be better, then, I mean, you're really missing your own potential too. So.
Right. And the something I heard this week, or was reminded of, because I had heard this before, but someone reminded me this week that Stephen King has said before in the past that, like, the first draft is for you, the next draft is for the reader. You know what I mean? So you really have to, as an editor, which this is my first time in this major amount of editing, right? I was like, I really want to look at this from an outside perspective, try my best to just, be cognizant of what I'm saying as just a reader. Like, if there's any time that I sort of put it this way to Billy sometimes, I'm like, this pulled me out of the story, right? If there's any time that I'm like, oh, that pulled me out, then I'm like, I don't want to be pulled out. I want to stay. I want to live in that world. And that's kind of where I'm trying to approach my notes from. So let me jump over to the chat here. We got Joey. Oh, that's the wrong one. He is talking to my daughter there. Joey says, what's up? And then he asks, what am I sipping on? This, Joey, I'm sure you will know, is a White Russian, my drink of choice. So I had to shout out there. So I agree with you is what I'm saying. Like, we gotta, as creative people, sometimes it's okay to do for yourself. But if you want to put something in a book that you want people to buy, you really have to try to consider that as well. Now, there's this giant debate between art and entertainment, right? A happy medium, that's where I want to live, at least, or I hope to live, whatever. But
the note giving and the note taking process is its own kind of art, really. Yes. I think one of my best assets as a writer in general was I was working with a writers group out here, and it was a bunch of Florida State grads. We all knew each other from the time we were like 18, and we were, I think, in our late 20s, and we were saying, well, we're all pursuing writing, let's do a writers group. And we kind of held each other accountable for drafts and getting things done. But what we would do is we would get together, and everyone will have read somebody's script, and we would rip it to shreds for like 3 hours. We would just rip it to pieces and then work to put it back together. And what it really showed us was, and this is like screenplay, so it's a little bit different. Everything has to be a little bit more malleable, but it really did show, like, hey, other input. It sort of teaches you how to take certain notes and how to address certain notes, how to ignore certain notes, or how to see, like, the big expression is the note behind the note, right? So someone will give you a note, your initial reaction is like, what the hell are you talking about? But then when you think about it, you apply it to kind of what they're talking about. Maybe the problem is not where they noted it. The problem is earlier in the setup. You didn't set it up properly. You didn't stick the landing. So go fix it back in Act 1, and now it's going to land, that kind of stuff. It's not just like they don't like it, it doesn't work, because a lot of people fall into that. And so yeah, the noting process for me, whether it's screenplays or stories, like, it always just works to strengthen what the initial goal is. And it's something that I was very grateful to have with friends who I trusted, and friends who weren't trying to, you learn to notice the bad noting patterns too. People trying to impose their own creative voice on your creative voice. Like, you got to ignore that, or you got to understand that for what it is. But yeah, the noting process, you really gotta learn it. But when you learn it and you can take your ego out of it as much as you can, then it's only beneficial. I like to say to people now, because I've been doing it for a while now, I like to say that I'm not precious with my words, but I know when I've gotten something right. So that's kind of when I stick to it and I make it work. But I am always open to thoughts, ideas, notes,
Yeah, and it's hard. Billy was saying, like putting yourself into these notes. It's hard not to do that. In fact, I find myself with my notes, and I'm sure you guys have seen or will see. I like to give examples, and that's not because I want you to use what I'm saying. I give examples because I want to make sure that what I'm giving you is clear and understood. So I like to give examples. I don't always give examples, of course, but I will if I feel like that. Hey, I don't know if I'm being clear. I'll just throw in an example in the note too, just so you can read that note and be like, oh, okay, I sort of understand where he's going with it. That by no means do you have to use any of that. It's just an example,
Yeah.
Sean, what do you think? Since you've gotten one, your first pass in.
Even before I got the notes from you guys, like I said, I had a beta reader that I really trust. I mean, he reads a lot more than me. And he sent me back an email that was like way long of everything he liked, everything he didn't like, things that didn't work. He mentioned, I really didn't feel sorry or feel bad for this character. It seems like you didn't do enough to make me care about this character. So I went back in and he goes, I think maybe if you said this and this, like examples. And I went back in and I added some of that. And then he's like, and your intro, your first part of the story, he goes, it was incredibly written. I loved it, but I don't think the story needed it. I think he could have started right after that because we know what happens from what people are saying. So get rid of that entire beginning because you don't need it, even though it was entertaining to read. So I did that and it made sense. We got rid of a very shocking moment in the start, and it made the story start smoother, I felt. And, he mentioned, I love this character so much, and, here's why. And it made me realize, okay, here's what I did with that character that actually made it someone that he cared about. And it wasn't the main character. It was a secondary character, which I noticed you guys had mentioned in your notes. You said, I noticed, you're doing this from this character's, point of view here, and he's not the main character, but that's kind of why. And it's just, I don't know, it's different notes from different people. Like there's both of you and then him, and I'm just putting all this together and saying, okay, I get and things you guys showed, things in my head, but wasn't on the page. So you guys like, why did he do this? I'm like, okay, I need to, add something in there to make it clearer. Because it's clear in my head, obviously, because I wrote it, it's my story. But if you guys don't know why it's happening, then obviously there's something I left out ahead of that I didn't see because what's in my mind wasn't in the written words. And that's why you got to have other people read your stuff, because if you're just doing it yourself, you'll understand it, but that doesn't mean your reader is.
Yeah. And I think Robert touched on that where he said that, sometimes what your intentions are, but it might not make it from here to here. You know what I mean? And I'm the same way. Like anytime I write anything, it doesn't matter, scripts, anything. I send it to people to read. Anytime I'm editing a film, I send out edits to people and I'm like, tell me what's working. Tell me what's not working for you. Because we, as the creative person, live in it for so long, we kind of get, what do you call snowblind or whatever, right? Yeah. So you need those like fresh eyes and those fresh perspectives, like all of us. Like Billy asked me just recently, he's like, hey, I know that the stories that you've put in, you feel like are pretty solid, right? And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, do you want me to go through those? I said, yes. Like, why not? Like, please go through it and shred it so we can build it back better, Yeah. But on the other side of that coin, you've got to really, as the writer, you've got to be able to go through this and figure out what you want or need, maybe I should say.
That's what's great about your position, Sean, because you've got two different notes from two different people or two different places
Yeah.
And now you got to figure it out. Like that's why, being that sort of ultimate decision maker and seeing like, okay, this played this way for one person, this way for another person. Like, all right, where am I at with it? Like that's really fun for me. Like being able to sort of push things in one direction or another.
Yeah. Hey, let's look at some stories. So Bolin.
Yes.
Let's do it, buddy.
Okay, so my story is called Roslyn Lake. Two teen siblings search for their mother's killer in a small town near the Gifford Pinchot Forest.
Now, spoiler alert, I'm deep into this one because I'm about halfway through mine. So this is in the front of my brain. In fact, I worked on it this afternoon for
You're
a
gonna
while.
like the back half. I'm just gonna spoil it for you. You're gonna like the back half.
Now here's the thing, right? I like the front half too. I like the front half too. But that's really cool, man. And your story is really good. I'm excited to get the notes back to you, actually, because
I'm super excited for the notes. And like you guys were saying, I love notes. I know I have blind spots. I've been writing for a long time, and I have a select few, people I send this stuff out to beforehand. Hopefully they get all my blind spots, but I know they won't. And so, anything I can do to strengthen this project, and I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. I'm glad you like the back half, Billy.
I also like the front half too, to be clear.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I think what Billy, I guess I don't want to speak for you, Billy, but I think what Billy means is like, hey, the back half is going to really be enthralling for you, for the reader, I should say, right? Let me jump in the chat here. So we got Byrne is in from Thinking Short Movies. How's it going? Karen has said it's very clear and it takes a team. And it does. You're absolutely right. And my daughter says constructive criticism is the most meaningful when it comes from friends. It is. Sometimes it's also very difficult when it comes from friends. But let's get a couple more that we've already announced here. So James Cox was going to be here tonight, but he sent an email and he's not feeling well. So hope you get better, buddy. But Hope's Howl is the name of his story. We introduced it a few weeks ago. Pat Reagan, a ski patroller at a mom and pop mountain resort in the midst of a corporate takeover, answers a search and rescue call that brings him face to face with death and a local legend. This story is really cool too. I feel like I say that every week, but it really is. This is a really good story too. Let's see if we can do a couple more here. Just pop through some of them. Who do we got here? Okay. Mondo Franco with copy. Billy, you want to take this one?
Yeah. So in this twisted noir, a late night fare pulls a taxi driver into a web of violence and deception where he must survive the longest night of his life.
Yeah.
And it's called Copy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Copy.
very cool.
It is very cool. It's a lot of fun. What's really interesting about this particular story? I like he's writing it in a perspective that is a little different than most of the other stories. So he's using first person present, which is sort of more like a screenplay or something. But it's really neat. Let's do a couple more. David, DF Jester, Wendy. Wendy is when a female hitchhiker is picked up on a lonely stretch of road at night, she and the driver discover what each hungers for. And let me just give you a little spoiler here. This one, it gets a little gross, just so you know.
Yeah,
it's a
this
good
one,
though.
I had to put it down for a minute when I was going through it. I was like, whoa, okay, I got to step away. Yeah.
And that's the guy who
So-
made Survivor Type. So yeah, thanks, Billy.
yeah,
Yeah.
from the guy who made Survivor Type. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Doc, the birthday boy. Let's hear about terminal degree.
A failed athlete turned PhD student faces a sinister choice when a mysterious figure offers him success at a devastating cost.
Yes.
So-
And you just got your notes back within the last week.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you've been doing a lot of work in there.
Oh yeah, it was exciting, definitely. And you know, here's, you know, the thing when I jump into notes, I know first there's always kind of, okay, handle the little things like the grammar things, which are so helpful. Almost all just spot take them. Great. Got it. Good. Those are good. But the big chunk things, and I think this came up in what someone else was saying earlier, was identifying, getting into story. I think Sean was talking about getting into the story earlier, like a whole section of your story that wasn't working for your friend. And, you know, the backstory thing, right? There's a big chunk of backstory. And it's funny, when I was looking at this is kind of the feeling I had. I go, did I really write that much backstory? Because I know the initial draft, like I went through, it wasn't nearly that. And then I kept having insecurity as I was writing. I go, oh, I better fill that in up top. I better fill that in up top. And all of a sudden, I think I ended up with like 5 pages of at least a backstory between, you know, the opening action and when he meets, you know, the bad guy, as it were. And that was meant to be happening in a page or page and a half, but all this stuff that was fine information and, you know, maybe reasonably entertaining, but it was slowing the action. So it's like having to just shove that down. And then I think it was one of your notes, Paul, and someone else gave me something similar. And when, you know, to me, the old thing is when you get it from 3 different people, you have to listen to it. But even at 2, I was like, yeah, the idea was take things from this, whatever, 5.5, 6 page chunk and sprinkle them in action rather than hold them as to a whole chunk of backstory where, you know, they're kind of, people might be going, okay, got it. What's happening here? What's going on? Now, just a line here or there. And you also, Paul, another note you gave me was about, it was hitting the theme. And you did a great job on one part in particular where it was 3 words, because I really like staccato stuff when it hits well. Boom, boom, boom.
And I thought that was really nice too. That's why I wanted to point that out. I was like, look, this is definitely the theme that you're going for. I mean,
and so by doing that, by just, I said, I like staccato already. By dropping, and again, it's kind of a King thing that I love. You know, when he's giving you the psychological in a parenthetical of somebody's mind, and it's a word or 2 of doubt. It's that persistent thing that keeps eating and gnawing at you. That's some of my favorite King writing over the years, is when the characters doubt themselves in italics or parentheticals, right? So I try to use that stylistically for my character who's having this crisis, you know. And Billy, you had a great note that basically, you know, called me out on, you know, you said playing coy with the theme. I'm like, oh, I just got to lay it out there, you know. And that was extremely, because this was, like you said, it was clear in my head, but I'm like, I know what's happening, but I guess I haven't made this clear to the reader. And by putting it out there, the reader goes, oh, that's what I'm looking at, right? And it allows me to get rid of all that backstory, because now it's like, well, shoot, the roller coaster's already going, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, a big thing that a note that I put in there for you was not necessarily losing all the backstory, but like you said, like, let's integrate it a little bit, you know, so it's not front loaded in there. And I have been peeking, just so you know, I have been peeking at what you've been doing. And I think that you're making some good decisions. Like, I'm excited about the next draft. That's what that boils down to. Let's do a new story, guys. Let's do one that we haven't done yet. So this is a new story, not this one, of course, but I'm going to bring it up in just a second. This is a new story from James Renner. James Renner, who did, correct me here, Billy, because I can't remember. He did the Dollar Baby called...
He did All That You Love Will Be Carried Away.
All That You Love Will Be Carried Away.
Oh, yes, that's right. All That You Love.
Yeah.
This story is called What Chris Remembers. And it says Chris has just transferred to a prestigious boarding school where students trade something more frightening than Pokemon cards. Here's a spoiler. No, well, not a spoiler, but here's pulling back the curtain. This was the second story that we got, that we received. The second one that was turned in. So I'm excited for people to read this one, because it's really cool. And
this is a great one. Yeah, this is like one of those like little bite-sized stories. It's pretty short, but it's such a gut punch. Like when you're at the end of the story, you're like, oh my, what the hell was that? Like, what the hell did I just read?
Yeah.
And it's very cool, and it's very intense, and like, it's short, but you're gonna remember it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's and we're excited that he's working on the project with us. because you know he's been writing a bunch of true crime books for several years, and we're excited that he would add some fiction to our anthology. So I want to do something a little different, guys, for a few minutes. So let me get back to this screen. No, that's just me and you. So let's bring everybody.
Hi.
Yeah. So I want to actually play a game, guys. You guys down for a game? You guys down for a game?
Games?
Yeah? All right. So this game is well, hang on a sec. Let me do this. There we go. So we can see it because I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. So this game is called The Wheel of Misfortune. Stephen King edition. All right, guys. So I'm just going to go by the way I see you on my screen. So that means, Billy, you would go first. All right. So in the first game here, we have book titles. So if you don't know how this works, by the way, you're going to pick a letter. And you guys are going to keep up with your own score because I definitely can't because I'm halfway through this guy already. So you just hang on your own score. We're going to trust, okay? So, book titles. You just give me a letter. But first, Billy, we got to spin the wheel. Got to spin the wheel, okay? On our wheel, we've got misery, which is bankruptcy. We've got red rum, lose a turn. We've got MOON, that spells win. And then we've got 19 all the way to $2,000. So,
amazing.
Here's your spin, Billy. For $200.
That's a good start.
What letter? What letter do you want to give it a shot?
Well, Pat, I'm going to go with a T.
And what do we got? We have a T and a T. And now I realize now I should have written these down, right? Okay, that's all the T's. And because I want to be as fair as I can, we're moving on, Billy.
That's fine.
Sean, you're up next. Here's your spin. Keep up with your money, Billy. Here's your spin.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, for $400. By the way, Billy, you get 2 letters worth, right?
Oh,
so you get yeah. So 400, Sean. Which letters do you want to go with? Book title is the topic.
S.
S. Yes, there is one S. All right. Next on the screen, hang on a second. I got to bump over there. Jump back. Bolin, let's spin the wheel. So you get $400 there, Sean. All right. Let's see what we got for $100. Bolin, what letter?
Okay, let me get an H.
Good one. We have 2 H's. And next up, so you get double or whatever, you know. I like how it just laughed. So you will have 200 total, right? Yes. Doc, birthday boy, let's give it a spin and see what we got.
Oh yes,
400 again.
I'll take an R, please.
Take an R. There is one R. All right. So now we're back around to Billy. At this point, if you want to try to guess, you can. I got 4 games. We don't have to play all 4, but I got 4. So if you want to, after you pick a letter, if you want to try to make a guess, please, by all means. Billy, you're up. Here's your spin.
All right.
Oh, 2,000. And Billy just blew us out of the water there, I guess. Billy, you can buy some vowels. They're worth 2,000, I guess. I don't know.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Crazy. Let's go with an F.
F as in fat?
Yes.
There is one F. So you just earned 2,000. Would you like to try to solve this time or keep going? Or we move on?
Let's keep going.
Okay, Sean, here we go. What do we got? Oh, you get a free spin. So the way we're going to handle this is we're just going to let you have a free guess. So, and then we'll spin again. So you get another turn, basically. Although that doesn't work with that. So maybe just hang on to your free spin. I don't know how this works. Billy, help me out. I have no idea. I haven't seen this show in like 10 years.
I think it saves you if you get a misery or a red rum. I think that's how that works. Maybe.
Then that's how it's going to work for us. So back pocket, Sean, if you get the red rum or the misery, then you'll just get to spin again, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and spin it again now so you can earn some points, you know?
All right.
or some dollars or whatever. $700. What letter are we looking at? Letter
L.
L. And no L. I'm sorry. All right. So Bolin, you're up. Let's roll.
Right.
Let's spin the wheel. Big money, no whammies.
Oh, there goes my $200.
$200, John. I'm sorry. All right.
Can I solve or do I have to spin?
Just for fun, let's spin. You can solve after that.
I hope it's fun. Let's see.
That's a great question. I should have thought this.
Woo!
There you go.
Got it. That's what I needed.
All right. So give me a letter and then you can solve.
I'll take a D.
D. Yes, there is a D. Do you want to solve?
I do. The eyes of the dragon.
That is. This takes a lot longer than I thought. Let me try this a different way.
I love
the eyes of
reread
the dragon.
Nice work, Rob.
I didn't mean to do that.
It's for one of the kids, right? I think it was like that's the story. He wrote it for one of his kids. So it could be something they would read when they were younger. And it was a beautiful story from what I remember. So
yeah,
it's a beautiful story.
If you've never read that one, anybody out there, let's go.
He actually told him, Dad, we know you're a famous writer, but we're not allowed to read any of your books.
Yeah.
So he was like, fine. And he wrote this. And honestly, it's not super.
Look at his kids now. Look at what they're writing. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I think he wrote this for his daughter, if I'm not mistaken.
ooh.
All right, let's go into the next game. Well, actually, before we go to the next game, let's get another new story.
Sure.
Let's get another new story.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
this
I
story,
feel like we've earned it. Yeah.
yeah, of course. This story is Billy. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one, so you won't know until it's on the screen. But what just happened? We just moved. Why?
Wow.
I don't know what's happening.
Ooh.
There we go. All right, Billy. Here we go.
Let's do it. All right. Sand Fleas from Jennifer. I don't know how to pronounce her last name properly, but Trudrung? Trudrung.
I'm
Okay.
not sure either.
All right.
Sorry,
Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the log line justice then.
Yeah.
So Sand Fleas. A young girl digs up a disturbing revelation on a fishing trip with her dad. And this is another one that is an absolute gut punch.
Yeah.
And it is, I think this was the first one we got, wasn't it?
Hey, Jackie. Sorry to interrupt you.
Jackie.
Hey, Jackie. Welcome.
Nice.
So this was the first one that we got, the very first one that we got. And Jennifer did a fantastic job. I would say this, being the first one, I'm a little partial to it. You know what I mean? So it was a great way for this to start out. Like it came in and I read this and I was like, yes, I know that this is going to work. You know what I mean? That was the feeling that I had. So Sand Fleas. Let's get back into the game now that we got a new player
there.
Yeah, and Jennifer, if you know Jennifer's work, you should look her up.
Yes.
She has got a very interesting history. She's an actress, she's a writer, and we were excited and very lucky to get her on this book. And the story delivers. Like I said, it's an absolute gut punch. It's sort of a bite-sized story, but one of the ones you can pick up. You can read it in a night right before bed, and then have horrible, terrifying dreams for the rest of the night.
Let's jump back in the game, shall we?
Let's do it.
Jackie, guess what? We're playing. Oh, wait, I got to show the graphic. I worked on this graphic. I got to show it. So there we go. The wheel. Oh, you're not on the screen. The Wheel of Misfortune.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Stephen King. Right? So, in fact, let me go and turn that thing off your face there. I'm sorry. Let's go. There we go. So, we just played this round here, book titles, The Eyes of the Dragon. For the next round, we are doing famous story quotes. Famous story quotes.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So who just the birthday boy, Dr. Robert Cochran, just won that round. So Jackie, we're going to start with you. We're going to spin the wheel, Jackie. And the wheel, since you just got here, red rum, lose a turn, misery, bankruptcy, MOON spells free spin. All right. Let's see what you get. Oh, no.
Welcome, Jackie.
Jackie. Oh, whoops. My hand slipped, Jackie.
Oh, look, Jackie. Hey.
And free spin.
Hey, all right. So we'll just call this one 100. Now give me a letter, Jackie. I don't know if you know how this works or not because I haven't seen it in a decade.
Let's
But
go with the letter T.
the letters. Oh, this is right. I should have written this down. There's at least one T.
Yeah.
Okay, just one T.
Okay.
All right, we'll call that 100 points for you. All right, so Billy, you're up.
All right, let's do it.
The first time through, by the way.
Hey.
Geez, with the free spins all over the place.
Yeah.
So put that in your pocket. By the way, Jackie, you've got a free spin in your pocket. And since you weren't here, if you land on red rum or misery, you can use your free spin. Okay.
Understood.
So let me spin it again for you, Billy. $700.
I will take
By the
it.
way, I think Billy might be winning right now, just so everybody knows. $700. What letter do you want, Billy?
Let's go. Ooh. How about?
I'm sorry. Let me. I ruined that one. So there you go. That's also there. Okay. So you got another $100, Jackie.
All right.
How about N, as in November?
Also, Jackie, you got another $100 because I don't know what I'm doing.
How many more T's are there?
Probably at least one more. I really should have written these down.
You're
All
doing
right.
great. You're doing great.
That's it, Billy. That's all you get. Even if there's more, I'm not giving you any more. All right, Sean.
I don't need it.
All right, Sean. $200.
L.
L. Oh my gosh. All right, there's at least one. All right, I think that's the only one. All right, who's up? Bolin.
All right.
Let's do this.
Nice.
Yes. 400. What are you looking for? Remember, famous story quotes.
Okay, give me P.
No P.
Oh,
That's all right. All right, Doc.
Let's do it.
For 700. What are you thinking?
May I have an S as in Sam?
S as in Sam. There is at least one S. Okay, yeah, I think that's it.
Uh-huh.
That was 700. Okay, actually, that's 400. I'm sorry, but I'll go ahead and give you the 700. I'll give you this. By the way, Jackie, you're keeping up with your own score over there because I've drank too much at this point. So,
oh.
whose turn is it?
I have a visitor.
Jackie. Oh, you do have a little visitor. Jackie, for 600. I'm sorry, I bring the board up.
Okay, let's go with a G.
Yeah.
A G.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a G. That is 600. Okay, so for this round, we're going back through, right? You can guess. And since Jackie started, it's her turn. So, Jackie, if you'd like to try to solve, you can, or you can just say, no, move on.
I will pass. I will
Okay, great.
Yes.
No worries. Billy, you're up, my friend. This time you can try to solve as well.
All right.
Another
Well,
free
I know-
spin.
Oh, I'm just gonna collect the free spins.
I'm gonna have to remove that from the board, man.
How about a G?
How about a G? How about a G?
Got to check
Oh wait,
the
is
user.
there already,
We already did.
Oh, there is a G already. Who
There
called
already
G?
is
I
a
don't know what I'm doing.
yeah, there already is
I
a
have
G.
no
I didn't see that one.
Billy
How
gets
about
that.
How about an R?
I need to write it down. Sorry, my wife is saying, "Hey, you're being terrible." I'm sorry. I'm not disagreeing.
I've got that.
I'm just saying I don't know. Is there any more G's? For goodness sake, no.
there's
What was
not.
the letter that you said? I'm sorry.
I said G, but how about an R?
How about an R? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there is.
Yes, there is at least one R, and that means that there are actually two R's.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so do you want to try to solve?
Come on, Billy.
2 seconds.
I don't know it. I don't know.
All
It.
right.
No, I'll
Time's
pass.
up.
I'll pass. I know the
Time's
last
up.
word.
All right, Sean. Now, Sean, I'm going to spin this, and I'm going to give you some time to think while I write this down. Oh, sorry, we didn't see the $19.
Ooh.
That's the lucky one.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want whenever you want.
B as in boy.
B as in boy. Yes, there is a B. Would you like to try to solve?
No, 4 of the worst, but not the other 2, so no.
All right, moving on. Bolin, let's see what you got.
All right.
Woo!
Whoa.
We're 1,000.
Big money.
Okay. Let's see.
And I don't know how much money anybody has, but you can buy a vowel. Let's say they're $200. I have no idea.
There you
For
go.
each one, it's $200. I don't know how it works. Is it each one? I don't know.
No, I think you pay one and you get as many of that one.
Okay.
I know too much about this show. Sorry.
I haven't seen it in a long time. But
You
I
already
thought
get
you
one of my
might.
Chris references.
I'll buy. Wait, I think I'm bankrupt. I don't think I can buy a vowel.
Oh no, that's true. So
So,
do you have a consonant that you'd like to throw out there?
Let's see. Give me a W.
No W's. No W's. I'm sorry. Doc, you're up. And I know who Prince is.
Yes. Thank you.
$100. $100.
I'll take a D as in dog.
All right. There is this one here. And let me just consult my notes. That's it. Just that one.
This is the man in black, and he says, "Death, but not for you, gunslinger."
And that is correct. Yes, but not for you, gunslinger.
Oh yeah, at their palaver.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. It's
Love
the final card that he pulls.
Yeah.
The final tarot card. All right, let's do another new story. Let's do another new story. So bam, bring everybody
By
up
the way,
here.
Jennifer's profile photo is very cool.
It is very cool. It is very cool.
So intense.
let's
Very
do-
Bride of Frankenstein.
It is. It really is. Let's do Rodney's story. How's that sound, Billy?
That sounds good
Does
to
anybody
me.
want to volunteer to read it for the first time? Well, I mean, I can do it, or Billy can do it, or whatever. 3, 2, 1. No,
I'll
okay.
read it.
I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll do it.
please, Jackie.
Okay, Rodney Altman has written 3 nights after losing her family in a car crash. A woman makes a deal to bring them back in exchange for spending 3 nights in the afterlife.
Yeah, this is a
Ooh.
really cool one. I just finished my
Yeah.
first pass on it just a day or two ago, and it's a really neat story. So, like, I don't want to give away anything, but that is a great log line for it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to share.
It's
it with
very
you.
dark. It's very tragic. It's very cerebral. So, and it's one of those stories that you sort of like, you see where it's going, and then it takes a hard left. And I love that. And it doesn't feel out of nowhere. And like, Rodney is a good friend of mine too. I've known Rodney for a long time, and I was so excited to read his story. And then right after I read it, I was like, dude, I read it. It's awesome. You did a great job. And that's one of the ones that really stuck with me for a while after I read it for the first time. So I really loved his story.
It was really cool. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Anthony jumps in. He says, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Hey.
And so I 100% agree. It's a really cool story, and I'm excited to have it as part of the anthology. We're excited to have it as part of the anthology. So we are looking at about 5 minutes, guys. Do we have time for one more round?
It's your call.
Oh, listen, I'm
Let's do
in
it.
it to win it, man. I'm in it to win it. Okay, so since we have one more, I got actually 2 screens, right? I mean, 2
Adaptation.
games. So I got adaptations, but I also have one that you guys might be interested in. Dollar Baby.
Ooh.
So which one's it going to be? Adaptation or Dollar Baby?
They're both kind of, but yeah.
Let's go dollar baby.
I think
They're
Dollar
both
Baby.
adaptations. I know. Semantics. I understand that. So Dollar Baby? Hands up for Dollar Baby?
Might as well. Let's do Dollar Baby. Yeah.
All right,
it's
let's
on
do
theme.
Dollar Baby. Dollar Baby it is. Who just won that last one? Oh, The Doc won again. Birthday boy. We're letting you win, man. We're letting
It's my birthday. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start again with Jackie. Jackie.
Come
Oh,
on,
I'm
Jack.
Oh,
You go.
no. Well, use my prize again.
There we go.
Oh, whoops! It just keeps.
Another free spin.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she
Who
had a
set
free
up
spin
this
anyway.
wheel?
That's right.
There it is.
200. There it is.
Good.
Or 200. What letter would you like? Oh my God, I got to write this one down too.
Okay, let's go with S. Like
1 second.
Sierra. Or Stephen.
There
King.
is one S.
Yes. One S.
For now.
Ooh, the first letter too.
Yep. All right. Next up, Billy. Oh, Billy.
I'm like, can I solve it? I know what it is.
Not yet. You got to go through everybody at least once
Okay.
for 300.
How about a T?
How about a T? Yes. All right. This one's gonna be too damn easy, isn't it? S. Okay. I think maybe here. Please forgive me.
Uh-huh.
Okay. There's 2 T's. So who we got next? Sean.
Yes,
For
sir.
800, not even dollars. Okay. Apparently, I didn't put the dollar sign on that one. For 800.
How
What letter
about
would you?
N?
N as in night.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. There is one N. One N. All right. Bolin, let's see what you got here.
Get
oh
up.
my God. Now we're gonna spin again. We're gonna spin.
All
There you go. 2,000.
There it is. There it is.
Do it,
There
boy.
it is.
Okay.
All right.
Uh,
What letter would you like?
let's go with R.
R. There is one R. One R.
$2.
$2,000. Watch him win the whole game. You guys keep it up with your points because I have no idea. All right.
Yeah.
So who do we got next? Doc, birthday boy. Let's see what we got.
I'll
For
take it.
300. What letter would you like?
How about a D as in dog?
A D as in dog. And there is no D. I'm sorry.
The luck was going to run out at some point.
Yeah, there you go. Jackie. At this point,
500.
Jackie.
Oh man,
can
no, I
call.
honestly thought it was something else when at the beginning.
Oh, I think you had it.
I thought I had it too until the
What
T's
letter?
popped up.
What letter would you like?
But let's see. I'll go with a B.
A B. By the way, before we do this, I just want to throw this up here.
Oh
Burn it.
it's
Too
not
easy.
Oh my gosh,
Too
how do I-
easy. All right. So, by the way, don't give it away in the chat, please, if you know it and it's too easy.
A B
Did you
for
say
baby.
B as in boy?
B as in baby for dollar baby.
B as in dollar, as in baby for dollar, baby. There's one B. One B.
Okay.
All right. Would you like to try to solve?
No, I don't think I have it.
Okay, no problem. Billy Handsome
let's see.
Hanson.
He's got it.
500.
500.
He's doing it.
How? I don't know it.
I thought you had it.
I feel like I should. How about a D? Oh wait, no, you just guessed D. You just guessed D. Oh,
Wait a
yes, I
minute
know.
now.
I know.
On the real show, they go if you guess the
Yeah.
letter that they already guessed.
How about I know it?
Do it.
How about a K?
How
That's
about a
it.
K?
There you go. You got it.
No K.
Really?
No K? Oh, I
No
thought
K.
it was K maybe too.
Are
Nope,
you
I'm wrong.
sure?
I am a liar. I am a liar. I wrote it down. I'm not showing you, but it is written right here, and I still didn't.
Oh, now I know.
No, Billy, do
All
it.
right.
All right, I want to guess.
Okay.
Survivor type.
Very close.
Yeah.
So close.
Oh.
Man,
So funny.
All right, Sean.
come on,
Kick
John.
it to Sean.
400. What letter you want to throw out there?
Y.
Y. There
Yeah.
is one Y. Do you want to make a guess?
Are you guessing the letter or are you
Stationary
asking what?
Stationary bike is correct. Good job, stationary bike.
Nice, John.
Nicely done. And we've got another brand new story. Let me bring it up on the screen. This one is from a dollar baby legend, Jay Holben. This story is called 132 Hours. When a brilliant surgeon succumbs to the darker side of his God complex, it results in 5.5 days of methodical and heinous torture on the verge of pure madness.
Ooh.
And the ooze that you guys are doing, you are correct. Just so you know, you are correct. No spoilers, but the ooze are right. This is so far right now, as of today. Now, he hasn't gotten back all of his notes, and we haven't seen the next drafts, but this is the longest story in the book right now. So depending on how the editing goes for everybody, this might not be the longest. But as of this stream, it is the longest. Yeah. So just to recap really quickly, Sandfleet's new story.
I'd like to, before we move on, just to promote Jay. Jay has a new book coming out.
I was going to throw that out there.
First.
Yep.
It's
and
called
it looks
The Director's
awesome.
Guide to Everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
It goes on July 1st, and the pre-sales are on now. So
The Director's Guide to Everything. Yep.
It's a book.
Yep. The Director's Guide to Everything. And it's a beast. He told us it's 600 pages.
Wow.
So he did there is a link somewhere. I don't know if somebody can come across it. Throw it out there. Share
throw
it.
it up with that.
Yeah.
He's got a whole bunch of books like about filmmaking, about like
Yeah.
insider tips on filmmaking, and they're all great.
They
Yeah.
are.
They're
And
all
he
really,
said
really good.
this one. He said this was his favorite, or not his favorite, but he said he's excited about this one because he actually gets to finally just talk directing, which is what his big passion is. So
Yeah. It's
all right, guys. So here's
we
the
were
deal.
very lucky to get him on the book too.
It's great.
We are, and it's exciting to have him. So just to recap, that's what I was doing. Sand Fleas. We also talked about what Chris remembers tonight, 132 hours, which we just talked about, and 3 nights. And now listen, guys, listen. We've got one more. We've got one more game. We got one more. If you got to go, you can go. But if you want to stick around for the game, I made this shit, so I want to play it. So who's in? I'm in. Let's do it.
Let's do
right.
it. Let's do it.
All right. This is adaptation, not to be confused with Dollar Baby adaptation. No, they're different. So Sean, you just won that round. By the way, we didn't even talk about what you win. Basically nothing. But throw in some imaginary points because you won. Right. So we're gonna start with let's see who's up. Bolin, you're the next person on my screen here. So little laugh there. Let's get some spins in. Big money.
Yes.
1,000. Okay, so adaptations. Hit me with a letter.
Okay, let's go with a T.
Okay, I got to remember what this one is. Hold on. All right, let me write it down so I can make sure I get it right. You guys are laughing real hard at me.
I think it's The Shining.
That's almost correct. Really? I think
really
it's actually Survivor type, actually.
Got
just
it.
kidding. T. Let me see. T. Drinking and doing this was a bad choice. All right, there you go. 2 T's. That means you get $2,000. Good job. As we go through, remember the first round, there is no guesses. But when we come back to you, Bolin, you can actually make a guess if you're so inclined, right? So, Doc, birthday boy, for 500, what letters do you want to throw out there?
R.
R. There are no R's.
R.
Okay, Jackie. 700.
Neat. Let's go with H, like the hotel.
H, like the hotel. So there is 1H. 1H. Good job. Billy, you're up. And you get 700 as well.
Oh, sweet. How about an S?
S. There are 2 S's. 2 S's. I'll leave it up there for a second so you can see it. There you go. That's all you get. All right, Sean, the winner of the last round for 100. 100.
C.
C as in car. There is 2 C's.
Mm-hmm.
2 C's.
I see all of us nodding across the top little bar.
All right, so Bolin, you can guess this time if you feel like it. 100.
I was not one of the nodding.
Well, make a guess with some letters.
Okay. S. Or no, S is already there.
Wah, wah.
Let me see. You guys are nodding. I should be able to solve this.
It'll click for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say D.
D. Unfortunately, there is no D.
Oh, he's going to win his third one.
He might. All right, birthday boy. 500. Let's throw out some letters.
M as in Mary.
M as in Mary.
This
So
is
we've
a trip
got,
to Aruba, right?
Yeah.
got one. Unfortunately, that's not.
Dang it. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, you got 3 M's.
Here we go. 3M. They make life. It's sometimes they come back.
It is. Sometimes they come back.
Don't call it a comeback. Been here for years.
And
I was going to guess
ultimate
Survivor
winner
Type again.
tonight is the birthday boy, Dr. Robert Cochran. But really, ultimately, the winner is all the people who showed up and hung out with us and had a good time. I appreciate all of you guys for being here, and I lost some of you on my screen. Hang on.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Sorry.
She's like, please, no.
So I appreciate everybody being here for our nice long special. Everybody's going to go away again just for a second. Sorry, just as the way it's set up. Because there we go. If you want to follow me or Billy, Attaboy Billy, or Paul Inman SC, you can follow the other fine people who have decided to show up also on social media. Go back and watch their episodes where you will get their social media information. Unless you guys want to share it right now, go.
Mine's all at Yes and Exercise.
No one else. That's all right. I didn't have everybody's to put in.
I'm a whore. Sorry. I just made that very clear.
Yeah. And that reminds me, not the horror comment, but that reminds me. Not only is it your birthday, but your 501c, your nonprofit is taking donations for your birthday. That's right? Where can people go to do that? Can they go somewhere special?
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, right up on the Facebook page is where you can find it. And thanks so much for pointing to that. We have a very special student. She's a recently graduated social worker who's bringing a whole new wave of help to the people with Parkinson's. And the fact that she's coming in to basically take on some of the programming by taking the classes, which she will then be teaching. She's teaching some of it already. It's a growth thing. And really in the world of Parkinson's, that's what we need. We need more people who care, who can get out there. So supporting her, that's what the donations are for, to pay her tuition, gives her the ongoing education that helps her promote these programs for the Parkinson's community. So yes, please come to Yes and Exercise on Facebook, and you'll see the fundraiser there. It's all tax deductible to our 501c3. And Paul, thanks so much for making that available.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And go check it out and, give a little bit of money for a great cause. I want to, where is it? I don't know where it is. I'm not that anymore. Get out of here with that. One last final time, because by this time next week, the campaign will be over. So one last final time. I'm not in the right place at all, but somewhere. Here we go.
But hey, you can read that sample.
If you want to go in, see, 4 days left. Let's try to hit 200. If you haven't ordered 200, that'd be great. Ink Shares could and has in the past published books, regardless of if they hit the pre-order or not. By the time that a week from now rolls around, then we'll be we'll be, done with the campaign, right? So I appreciate everybody being here. Let me bring you back up here. I appreciate everybody being here today. Next week, and you might go away from the screen again, and I apologize. But next week, Billy, I lost you. Billy, why is it on that one, Billy? I don't know what's happening. There we go. Billy, next week, it is the final episode of Live from the Kingdom. So come out and hang out again next week for Live from the Kingdom. For what this one, which you didn't know, is the penultimate episode, but come out for the last episode next week. I'm going to bring everybody up. Thank you again so much for coming and hanging out, guys. These stories from these people, these fine people, and all of the rest of the stories that we've been talking about for months now are fantastic, and we hope that we can share them with you very, very soon. My name is Paul Inman, and that's Billy Hanson, and that's Sean Lelos, Jackie Perez, Dr. Birthday Boy, and Bolin Miller. Thank you for coming, and we will talk to you and see you very soon.
Thank you guys for everything you do.
Everybody.
Appreciate you guys.